Dunlop series will hit the track once again. So let's say good afternoon to Greg Rust and Greg Murphy.
We're all set for the final race of the day in the Dunlop series. We've had two on Sunday here at the NP 300 Navara Winton Super Sprint. One yesterday. Very limited amount of rubber that these guys can use over the weekend, and that means there is a mixture of tyres. Some are in good shape, Greg Murphy, some aren't for this final one today.
No, some have maybe got a little bit wrong for this race, and some are looking very good. 12 corners here at Winton Raceway, the 3 kilometre circuit just north of Melbourne. Low average speed, the lowest in the country that we go to, around 130 odd kilometres an hour. Lots of tricky little corners through that sector 2. Tight second gear, demanding a lot of the rear tyre around here, so controlling that is a key factor in managing those Dunlop control tyres. Cam Waters so far been just so dominant in his performance, and that all started a couple of weeks ago in Perth. He's continued on with it. He starts from pole position for the 3rd time this weekend after grabbing the Armour All pole on Saturday morning. He hasn't looked back. He's been getting that NZ Falcon off the line beautifully. Andrew Jones doing his absolute utmost to spoil that party. Hasn't been able to get it done. Here is the starting grid. As you say, Waters, Jones next to him, Paul Dumbrell just lingering there in 3rd position. Jack LeBrock putting a champion under a lot of pressure and 4th, doing a great job for Matt White Racing. Chris Pither, Shay Davies, who had a great result there in the last race to start on the 3rd row. Josh Keane, Taz Douglas, Charter, Aaron Russell, who started off the back for the last race, had a power steering issue yesterday. He's in good shape. The team just told me he's got a brand new set ready to go for this one. Looking forward to moving up the grid. Matt Hansen, Kurt Kostecki, Brett Hobson, Aaron McGill, James Golding had an unfortunate incident off the start line in race 2. He'll start near the back.
Just had a word with James before coming on for this race. It broke a right front shock only, despite the severity of the incident. And he was pretty adamant. I just kept the car straight. So everything that unfolded, he felt wasn't necessarily something he contributed to. So
no, it didn't look like it either. He was in sort of minding his own business. Maybe didn't get away as good as he would have liked, but it was Jesse Dixon who was trying to find a way through the centre between him and Chris Pither and climbed up over the top of the 99. Did a fair bit of damage to that car as well. So we'll see what happens this time round.
Update on the championship standings for you. Waters, it's just been maximum so far this weekend, and as you can see, he now has 104 points over the reigning champ. There he is, Paul Dumbrell. LeBrock, he's done a very good job in recent races and is 3rd in the standings. So this should be a good race. A couple of people have good tyres mid-pack as well. Matt Hansen.
All right, mate, nice and square in the box.
They've got a set that they have saved for this final race. Only did a few laps in qualifying.
This is going to be the key, Rusty.
Others are recycling, Murph. Some are trying to use just right side tyres that are in better shape.
This is going to be the absolute key. I reckon Cam Waters just managed race 2 absolutely perfectly. He just did what he needed to do, didn't pull out a big gap, didn't try to win by a big margin. He just managed it all the way through and looked after those tyres. Renee Gracie pulling up near the back. The green flag will show very shortly.
Down there, but I should be able to see the green flag again.
Who is going to make it into turn 1 first? Will Andrew Jones get the jump here?
Good to see that the Dixon car was okay.
Good luck, mate.
He's at the back of the grid. 18 laps it's scheduled for. Final race in round 3. They'll reconvene in Townsville. It's a bit of a gap after this round. Looks like it was a good start by Andrew Jones.
Jones has got a good one, but Waters is going to drag him all the way down. He's got the inside, but Andrew Jones, a bit of a touch between the 2 front row contenders. Jones tried to stay there. Waters went deep.
Out wide, one of the Eagleston entries. Look at the downbridge
had a bad start.
So Davies has been able to get by LeBrock. Then Morris in behind him. Bit of contact there as Aaron Russell moves through. Good progress from the Newcastle driver. Josh Keane.
Getting loose on the exit of 4. His teammate Jones, who had a great race there. Simon Evans just slots in behind Keane, who's had a bit of a a shocking start. It's hustle into 7, now touching Douglas. Moves Charter aside. There's
Matt
Dan
Day
in the middle.
Sorry, Dan Day, yeah, in the middle, exactly.
It's still going on here. Day and Keane side by side. Evans looking for a spot. The tight, slow. Oh, a touch from Keane into the back of Day. That could have ended badly.
Simon Evans looking as well for a way around. He's going down the inside. In fact, someone's come by both of them. Is that Matt Charter? Kostecki in behind there as well. Dixon trying to fight through. Look at Macaulay Jones. Here's Dixon up the inside on the run to 11.
He's had a pretty good start. There's Jesse Dixon. Oh, there's dirt and dust. There's cars going everywhere. Macaulay goes up the inside of Leoncini, who runs wide. Dixon following through. Man, he's had a good start. There's Golding right behind. Those guys have absolutely smashed the start, made a lot of positions off the back row. As it goes on here, Waters pulls out a little gap at the lead, but all the action's back in. Oh, there's Simon Evans having a look at Keane. They flow through. Turn 3. Back there, Bryce forward, and Brett Hobson. But our championship leader showing the way. Dumbrell in a familiar position this weekend in third. He's got Pither all over the back of that Commodore. Morris has had a blind to LeBrock. He will be bitterly disappointed with where he is at the moment, sitting in 7th. Aaron Russell, a good start. He's got a brand new set of tyres or a fresh set on his car. And it's working for him as he moves forward.
Also joining us in commentary for this one, Chad Nalon, who works on our support race action and follows this class very, very closely. Gee, it's been an interesting weekend so far, but Waters, again, continuing being the class of the field right now.
He was very aggressive down in the first corner and was quite keen on hanging on to that race lead. It just shows you how hungry.
Oh, look at Evans here.
He is. Evans is deep under brakes now at 11. Slight contact with Keane. Keane desperate to make up for that mistake in race 2 earlier when he spun down at turn 10, and Evans holds on to that spot for now.
I tell you what, he's racing hard. It's great to see some of these guys really coming of age in this category at the moment. Keane, this is the best performance we've seen, and he's obviously really enjoying that relationship there at BJR as they flow through. Dan Day running wide. Oh, a bit of a lock-up going into 3, a couple of cars.
It is remarkable, isn't it, Josh Keane, given his background as a football player and a motocross rider, not taking that traditional go-kart style path through to where he is right now. Really driving the wheels off Brad Jones' racing car after being in their own operation and towards the front of this field, or a bit further up. LeBrock trying to make up for that messy start now, and he's got Paul Morris ahead of him.
And Aaron Russell right behind. We know he's in good shape for this race. Morris teaching the young boys a bit of a lesson. He's not going to be easy to get past at all. Oh, there's a spin. 7, turn 7. That's Dan Day facing the wrong way. Cars going everywhere. Is that Macaulay Jones too there, Chad?
Well, it was going to happen. Given the way those guys were brawling in the mid-pack, it was a matter of time before someone was facing the wrong way. Renee Gracie now with her hands full. Erin McGill in the Battery World Commodore behind her.
There's going to be a change in the list here in a minute as the timing sheets get adjusted. A bit of damage to Macaulay Jones in the front and rear. You can see this, the diffuser there, damaged in his car, the front of his car, the bonnet has been pushed up. So she is all on here in race 3. That's Pither down the inside. He got a run on Dumbrell. Will he get the crossover? Here's Davies. He gets the run. Pither's going to go down the outside of Dumbrell, who's defending. But Davies has got this one done. What a great move. If Pither gives him a rub, we'll try and get an overlap to 4. This could be dangerous here. Davies gives him room after that touch. I don't know if Davies going to like that one too much.
Asking a lot of those used hard Dunlop tyres, given it's so far into the weekend, and great driving from the ice break. Falcon to hold on to that spot, but he should have been in 3rd. You lose that patience, you go for 3rd, you find yourself in 5th, but he scrambled and fought back to at least take that spot away from Shea Davies.
You're not going to get too many chances on Paul Dumbrell either, so we didn't see how that eventuated, how he got into that position. He got way down the inside. They ran through one side by side, did Paul Dumbrell and Chris Pither. The battle's still going on behind LeBrock, desperate to find a way past Paul Morris and regain some of those positions he lost off the start. He has been struggling all weekend with those starts.
Aaron Russell will definitely be the spoiler in the Plus Fitness Falcon, given the problems he had earlier this this weekend. It's all about having that extra set of tyres to go on with it at the end, like Todd Hazelwood did in Perth. In race 2 when he came flying through the field. And Jesse Dixon, who started in the back on good tyres, has found his way up to 17th. Here's the replay at the start. Andy Jones got a blinder on the left. He just needed to get it done and come across in front of him, and there's LeBron going slowly. LeBron losing 3 or 4 spots.
He got a shocker. Now, there was an Eccleston Motorsport car that got down the inside there, but I think he ended up on the outside around turn 2. Here we go, the replay from the other angle. LeBron tries to cover. Pither gets away clean. That's Ant Peterson, who slotted himself up into 5th off the start. LeBron was still there, and I think Peterson got pushed out wide. Yes, he did.
There.
And he ended up losing some spots after having a fantastic getaway. And here's a bit of action at turn 9.
Ooh.
That was Keane getting to the back of Day, who then nearly got Douglas. She was congested. Very, very congested at the start.
Never got to the bottom of why Day was facing the wrong way, but this should give us an indication. Josh Keane in heavy contact with Matt Charter, and Macaulay Jones, the innocent victim, at the back of the pack. Turned around as well.
Heavy concertina here is Chris Pither. He got the run after Paul Dumbrell made a mistake, but wasn't able to hold on to it. Wow, Paul Dumbrell got back across, got the crisscross, went down the outside. That's experience. That's Paul Dumbrell's experience definitely showing as LeBron gets down the inside, has a bit of a lock-up on Morris. He's going to get it done. Aaron Russell looking to take advantage, unable to. Gets the plus fitness entry very sideways. What a great move by Jack LeBrock, though, to take that spot from Morris.
Interesting scenario, this one now for Aaron Russell, given the good relationship that he has with Paul Morris. The fact that that car lives Paul Morris Motorsport, even though he is a Novocastrian, doesn't live where the car is based, essentially. Needs to try and get around the man who takes good care of that car week to week.
Look at Golding's car. He's been in a bit of action as well. The front of that, a bit bloodied. The Heyman Reese injury also front, rear side, as Jesse Dixon's been trying to get through the field. Sits back at 17th, though. Action aplenty. Aaron Russell using the curb, looking at an opportunity at 7 on Paul Morris. Now Hazelwood, he joins the party right on the back of Russell. I just feel that maybe Morris is just starting to back these guys up a little bit, or maybe he's just controlling that pace, looking after his tyres for later on.
It was the spoiler in Perth, wasn't he, in race 3, especially for Chris Pither.
Pither still working over Dumbrell very, very hard. And that's just letting the 2 leaders get away.
Small touch there for a second between Hazelwood and the I-Seat car. The young South Aussie, so good on open wheelers, looking to go on now with a career in tin top racing.
He's made a bit of a mistake. Hazelwood's going to stick it down the inside in the last corner. They give each other room. Well done. Yep. But he's lost a bit of pace, has Aaron Russell, off the back of Morris. He gets a bit of a breather in the United entry. As we see Peterson now looking on to try and recover from that great start. He was pushed wide, got the lights on. It's awesome to see these guys racing as hard as what they are, and pretty desperate to get a position. Plenty of action going on. We've forgotten about our leader, Cam Waters. He's got a 2.4 second lead over Andrew Jones, who's very comfortable over Paul Dumbrell, who's still coming under fire. You see the way the Falcon's just coming off these tight corners just a little bit straighter. Paul Dumbrell has battled all weekend with understeer in this car. We'll probably see a little bit more of it here. We'll see that. Look at the Falcon. Look how much narrower it comes off that turn. Paul Dumbrell turning all the way to the exit, Chad, and that's just hurting his front tyres. He's struggling with the front end of this car at the moment.
So Pither definitely with the car speed and the laps to get this done. There'll be 10 to go this time by 11 make that. Under brakes though, 888 built cars are so strong.
This is pressure, absolute pressure. Again, we see that highlighted on the exit. And Chris Pither really needs to do something. He needs to get this done. His weekend has been a little bit average, not the level that he was hoping for. And as Matt White Racing Falcon, he's leading the charge in this one. Jack LeBrock has showed him a pair of heels in the first 2 races, but now it's Pither's turn to try and put his car on the podium.
And that's the other thing here, that Paul Dumbrell can give up this spot and still hold on to a spot on that podium. So
he's not going to do that, though. There's no way Paul Dumbrell's going to give up a spot at any stage. He will make the fight right to the death. Davies has just fallen off the back of this group a little bit.
Still impressive, though, for Shea Davies.
Super impressive.
Stone Racing, given the speed that they were completely missing on Friday. He's scrounged nicely. This is the track where he claimed his first Porsche Carrera Cup winners. Now, nice opportunistic move. That one, Simon Evans, late under brakes on Taz Douglas. Golding going along for the ride as well.
He goes around there, outside.
Yeah.
He's still got an overlap. He's raw. Used every single inch of circuit. There's actually a little bit of extra seal on the outside of turn 8.
It's a sign of a guy who's got some fairly good tyre life if you're going to go trying to pass on the outside through the tight and twisty corners through 7 to 9. And still Aaron Russell in the Plus Fitness car, stacked up behind the United Petroleum Falcon of Paul Morris.
He's caught back up because there was a bit of a gap there. Aaron Russell had a little mistake which allowed Todd Hazelwood to attack, but he's closed that gap again on Paul Morris, which makes me think there might be a bit of a difference in tyre quality there between those two cars.
By the way, Brett Hobson's come down pit lane, and that was for a mechanical black flag. He's back out on the racetrack right now, so poor Brett has had rotten luck in the series since Sydney onwards.
And now LeBrock starting to recover. He's behind Shea Davies. The Matt Stone entry up against the Matt White entry.
Still Paul Dumbrell struggling through the mid part of the corner. He saw it again there through turn 4. But while he's slow through the middle of the corner, he's getting enough at the exits and doing enough in the braking areas to stop any chance that Chris Pither would have under brakes.
Well, he's just got to adjust the driving as we see. It's Josh Keane. And I think that's turn 3 going off now.
This could be a safety car.
Could be interesting.
If he's stuck down there, it's actually turn 4, and he's not moved yet. So he's found reverse, and he might be heading back out, so we might not get a safety car yet. There he is. He's managed to get it out of the gravel, so that's a pretty good job. It's the track where he first ever drove a V8 supercar.
He'll be disappointed. That was a good weekend, just gone astray there down at turn 4 in the BJR Commodore.
It's already his 3rd appearance at Winton in the Dunlop series. Just shows you he's gone under the radar, Josh Keane. Definitely earned that spot at Brad Jones Racing.
Well, it's just a big improvement, and it's great to see him just bashing around and trying as hard as what he has. Here we go. He's down the inside. Kostecki. And is there a touch here?
Oh, Kostecki was also fairly busy there with Jesse Dixon.
Well, Kostecki was able to get straight back down, and they touched wheels. You saw the way the cars moved, and
went on for a few laps.
This was a couple of corners earlier. Keane on Kostecki. Man, there's some aggression going on out there. And here's Jesse Dixon just behind, watching on. So they managed to get through the 1-2 complex. And Keane got the crossover. Dixon was trying to do the same. We are fighting. These boys were on it.
And you've got to respect just how old these tyres are at this stage of the weekend, apart from Dixon's, who, after going airborne in race 2 at the start, courtesy of contact with Golding, has had some good tyre life. And now his lead is out to 4 seconds for Cameron Waters. And Russell. Now the battle's on. Morris drops back 2 spots here.
Yeah, Hazelwood round the outside of 7. A really tough move. We saw someone, Golding, try that before. And now Aaron Russell's managed to get through. Morris lost another spot. Look at the gaggle coming up behind. Simon Evans having a good run here in race 3 after a disappointing 18th in race 2. He's got some pace.
Get the feeling Morris has definitely spent his tyres early in the weekend to get to where he was inside that top 10. They were also really lacking for speed throughout practice on Friday. Simon Evans, after a great effort in qualifying, the victim of contact in race 1, which is why he's fighting further back in the pack now, just outside the top 10. He deserves better this weekend given the speed of that car.
Well, he's on the back of his compatriot, Ant Pedersen, and he will be super keen to get past the guy that's got the endurance drive with Andre Heimgartner on Superbike Racing as for the Pertic Endurance Cup.
It's an interesting dynamic, that, Greg, actually, as well, given the fact that Evans would love that seat. This is how it unfolded. Nice.
That was my point, I think, Chad, yeah. So great move by Aaron Russell. Paul Morris giving room, but Hazelwood was the one that had to go around the long way.
Oh, big moment here for McGill. Sat out a practice session on Friday. He was a little bit weary after driving the transporter across the country from Perth.
Evans down the inside of Pedersen into 7. He'll now be on the outside for 8. He still maintains an overlap late in that corner. And Pedersen will continue on in that spot. But yeah, there's a interesting story there. Simon in the Super Black entry in the Dunlop series, and Pedersen taking that co-drive, as I said, with Andre Heimgartner in the main game for the Pertec Endurance Cup. So a bit of rivalry going on there, I would say.
You might know more about this than most. Was Pedersen unlucky to miss out on the seat that Heimgartner has in the main game?
Listen, I think, you know, everyone's looking at all the options out there. Andre's been competing for a long time now in many categories, as has Ed, but, you know, the nod went to Andre, and at the moment, you could say that was a good decision. He's doing a fantastic job in the Super Black Racing entry, and everyone's pretty happy with the progress that he's been making. An awesome performance at a couple of the race meetings so far. You know, had that qualifying of 5th in Tasmania a few months ago.
It'd be hard to drop Pedersen from that Bathurst seat, given he did so well last year, just finishing outside the top 10. Evans now jumps on that spot, takes it away from Pedersen, and now he's inside the top 10.
That's a good drive. This is the first track that Simon has been to in a V8 supercar more than once. So far, every other event is just all very fresh for him. So that's showing a little bit. He was able to get on with the job, qualify good, as you said, Chad, but had a couple of issues in race 1 and race 2. And now he's just starting to get the act together and find that form and show what he can do behind the wheel of this car.
That interesting dynamic of only having 2 sets of tyres to stretch across 3 half-hour races proved the goods in Perth, didn't it? Where you get guys coming from the back on good sets of tyres like Andy Jones did in Perth. We're seeing it right now with Jesse Dixon trying to find his way up through the field. He's passed 10 cars in this race alone, so definitely like that tyre strategy game. Makes it interesting racing. And still they race heavily back here, just outside the top 3 and further back down where these guys are, inside the top 10.
Look at this battle. It's about to become 3 as LeBrock gets on the back of it. And he is now looking to put pressure on Pither, who is still all over the back of Dumbrell.
Gee, it's been a great weekend of racing here in this class.
It has been. I've actually really enjoyed this, Rusty, and it's continuing on. It's just that some of the young guys, the names that we haven't heard so much of before, really making an impact. Davies, Aaron Russell, what a job he has done. Had a bad run yesterday with that car. Had to start off the back of the grid for race 2 after a power steering issue. He is running 7th. Todd Hazelwood again. Hats off to him. Simon Evans coming back through the field. James Golding, who started off the back for this race. He is in 12th position. So some awesome performances going on throughout the field. And these guys learning to drive these cars really, really well. Especially when you're up against guys like Paul Dumbrell, as we keep pointing out, but he is the benchmark. Albeit Cam Waters, wow, 6.4 seconds ahead in the lead over Andrew Jones. That is just stunning, really, when you take it into account. This will be, if he manages to lead the next 5 laps, this will be 5 race wins in a row for Cam Waters from pole position. He's doing everything right at the moment, just what the team at Pro Drive Racing Australia is asking of this young guy, and it's almost emulating at the moment Chaz Mostert, who's getting the job done in the main game.
And he's got the fastest lap of the race. Waters 2, a 1:26.33. As Murph said there a moment ago, 6.4 seconds the margin. Here he is with 4.5 to go in this NZ Falcon.
Well, he controlled race 2, as I pointed out early on. I know I'm going on about it, but he controlled that race perfectly, and I reckon he was just doing that on a, you know, on the second-hand set of tyres. And now the guys have unleashed him and said, mate, do what you want to do, get out there, show him what you've got, and that's exactly what he's doing. 4/10 faster. His fastest lap time is Pither. Just shows Dumbrell the nose of the Icebreak Falcon. He is desperate to get past the #1 car. And LeBrock there just shadowing in the background. The teammates in the Falcons from Matt White Racing.
One thing that we can never discount, and Waters will be acutely aware of this, is how good the Eagleston Motorsport operation are. They've only had 1 test day so far, unlike Matthew White's team, who've been here twice. This is the championship-winning outfit. Dumbrell has won the title twice, and we've still got a ways to go in this series, don't we?
We have a long way to go in this series. There's the damaged front nose of Golding, who's moved ahead of Pedersen. He is on an absolute charge. I don't think we can talk highly enough of the performance here. He had that moment on the start line, which took him out of race 2 with Jesse Dixon. It was really nothing to do with him. He was just an innocent bystander, got caught up in it. The bonnet of the 99 looking second hand as he fires down. You can see the aggression. It's great in the driving here, very controlled, but he's got some aggression come from the back. You can see this young guy's talent. It's really just coming out in the last couple of races.
And it's great the way the Gary Rogers Motorsport crew support him as well. You saw at the end of race 2 earlier today, one of the first people to greet him was Scott McLaughlin. Look at this here, Hazelwood 35 on Aaron Russell. Russell is 7th, Hazelwood 8th.
I haven't seen a Dunlop Series race in a while where the guys are pushing this hard. It's awesome to watch. And they're really trying to showcase themselves, and it's going on all the way through the field. There's Taz Douglas struggling on a little bit.
Spoke to him prior to this race. He'd had some clutch issues. He said he could get the launch away from the start okay, but in that second phase of the start, he was getting lots of wheel spin, and that was detrimental. Losing places at the start put him then in a situation where he was having to try and make up spots in the race. Right now, Taz, a podium finisher at Bathurst last year, is 13th in this one behind Ant Pedersen.
I tell you what, Pither's going to be ruining that move that he let get away from him earlier on when he Paul Dumbrell made that one mistake. That was the opportunity you needed to pounce on. Pither down the inside. Oh, so close. I thought he might have got an overlap there. But that opportunity, you can see Paul Dumbrell's car still struggling through the mid to exit of all the corners. He's doing an awesome job maintaining it. It drifts wide there through the sweeper. But he's good enough. He gets the car stopped well enough into these tighter corners, not giving the chasers the opportunity to make a move. Maybe Chris Pither was just a little bit too kind on Paul Dumbrell when he managed to get ahead. A little bit of a rub. Come on, get on with it, he says.
Time's running out.
Here we go.
He knows it.
This is an opportunity down to 10. Will he look down there? Dumbrell good under brakes. Look, you don't get any closer than that. Chris Pither. This is the opportunity for the podium for this race, which probably isn't going to change the overall, but this is for pride.
Look at the behaviour.
Sideways, yeah.
That's good for LeBrock. He looked tidy through that section. He's just shadowing these guys. So Shay Davies, super pleased Shay Davies when I spoke to him after the last race about that personal best result he scored. He's on for another one here with a currently 6th in car 90, and they had differing views, both he and Josh Keane, about that incident on the run down to turn 11.
Josh Keane's been in the wars again in this race.
He felt Keane was adamant. He felt that he was squeezed by Davies. Davies had a slightly different view, that maybe there was a lock brake or some sort of issue that contributed to it on Keane's behalf. So
it was a very tight race. And Pither is close here. Oh, he just can't get the angle. He does. Oh, is he going to touch? Oh, wow.
Lucky to arrest the speed there to pull it up.
He made a decision pretty late to try and have a crack. He was pretty close through the sweep. It got through 6 over the curve. He decided to try and fire it down there, but just the initial turn was quite aggressive and it upset the back of the car.
Dumbrell took a very wide line through that last one as well. LeBrock looks tidy here. If anything goes wrong between these two, Dumbrell and Pither, he's right there. And this is for the final spot on the podium.
We're running out of laps, though. Paul Dumbrell.
For this race, I should say.
Paul Dumbrell has been just doing enough, just enough. Every single time. I've spoken to Ben Eggleston just before the race, and they said they were still working away on just trying to tune. He was a little bit happier with race 2, but the key issue, still trying to get the front of that car just to bite through the second phase of the corner. And he'll be, Pither close again. Very, very close. I reckon he's looking for a setup at 7. He's just got to focus on being as close as he can to the back of that Commodore.
Look at this, 9.3 seconds is the advantage now.
Demolish them, absolutely demolish them. He's doing this easy.
On the run home, set it up in Perth with a dominant weekend there, and he's continued at Winton. Back to the race, the battle for third. Those Matthew White Falcons keeping the pressure on Paul Dumbrell, the champion. But it's clear air, clean air for this guy.
He's not backed off. He has not backed off on this race at all. They have unleashed him, said, go for it, mate. You got a good set of tyres. Let's see what you can do. And he has just smashed them every single lap. He's in a very good car, run by a very good team, and this has been masterclass.
Brilliant weekend
good
indeed.
Job, buddy. Good job. P1 9.5 seconds. Yes.
Mega. In fact, it's 9.8. That's the advantage. Final spot. Dumbrell gets off the turn nicely. Piffer has to sort of defend LeBrock. Davies in 6th place there in the background.
I reckon Paul Dumbrell will be glad that's over. He has had to work hard in every race this weekend here at Winton to defend. There's James Golding. What a superb drive to bring the Commodore home in 10th position from the back of the grid. So well done, James Golding. But there is the guy, the man of the moment. 5 race wins in a row in the Dunlop series. Huge
weekend for Pro Drive Racing Australia. No team's ever clean swept all the poles and all the race wins across both classes.
He's enjoying this slowdown lap.
Maybe we'll see that again this afternoon. Still a race to come, obviously, in the main game, but what a story it's been. And in terms of the development series, on target to win consecutive rounds, they have done that. That was the mission.
Well, there we go. That tells the story. 9.9 second gap from first to second. Andrew Jones doing his best, and a great result for BJR. Paul Dumbrell, 15 seconds off the lead. Great battle pack that was. Paul Morris, he held on for as long as he could. Slipped back in the end. Ant Peterson, 12th. He won't be happy with that. Taz Douglas, Jesse Dixon recovered from the back of the grid also to be 15th. Here's Renee Gracie, Dan Day, Matt Charter, Josh Keane having another shocker there, and Brett Hobson a lap down, rounding out the field.
Shame for Charter. They come from Albury, that squad, and they were hopeful of a good outing in this final race. They have had overall a pretty reasonable weekend with that car that was campaigned to success in this series by Scott McLaughlin. Highlights of the final race in the Dunlop series. What a start by Andrew Jones, and only just was Cam Waters able to hold him out on the run to 1.
The action was absolutely aplenty. LeBrock didn't get away well, and this is where it all began. There's Keane in the back of Day. There's Douglas on the outside. Evans trying to muscle his way through, find a way past. Oh, Dan Day and Keane. And poor old Macaulay Jones. Here was the opportunity that was lost. Pither, a mistake by Dumbrell. You only get one of them, one chance. But Dumbrell, look at this. He managed to stay on the outside. He did not give this up. Stayed all the way around the outside, used the curb, and then he knew he needed to cover on the exit of turn 2. He did that and maintained that position.
Lock break, but LeBrock managed to get through. Look at Russell, sideways, not wanting to make contact with Morris.
Josh Keane in the wars one more time with Kostecki, and this went on. This went on all the way down to 3 and the exit. Keane gets wide. Kostecki gets the run. They touch wheels, and Keane exited stage left. He was able to get out of there, carry on, no safety car, but his day went from bad to worse. Aaron Russell, what a great drive after having a power steering issue yesterday. Oh, Jacobson, loose. Day, Charter, in each other. And that's where Matt Charter lost a lot of time. But this guy, he didn't see any of that. Nothing. Out the front, clear windscreen. Dominated the weekend. 5 wins in a row.
Back-to-back championship winning rounds.
Congratulations, Cam Waters. Outstanding weekend once again. Complete domination, pole position and clean sweep. 3 wins in a row. You've now got 6 race wins in the Dunlop Series in a row.
Yeah, no, it's been an awesome weekend. Topped every session. So can't thank my my NZ team and FPR or PRA. So yeah, it's been a mega weekend, and I'm wordless.
You are just at one with this car at the moment, winning that final race from nearly 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that last race we had good tyres. Everyone else kind of run tyres in the second race. So the second race was the one that was harder for me. But yeah, that race was really easy, just out in front doing my thing. So yeah, absolutely stoked.
Well done. Enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
mega stuff.
Oh, actually, he's pretty emotional about that.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
Speechless.
The emotion come out. Now, championship leader, look at the gap he has now. Paul Dumbrell maintains that second position, 118 points behind after fighting all weekend. Look at Jack LeBrock there, 210 behind. He deserves to be there.
Do not write off Dumbrell or Eggleston Motorsport. They've been on the back foot before in championship terms, but this is a team who knows how to fight back. But ProDrive are the operation at the moment. Back-to-back wins, Perth, and now here there'll be a bit of time to reset before round 4 of the series. And what a back end to the year too, Murph. We've got some great events still to come. They go to Mount Panorama, Bathurst as well, Townsville.
Townsville's enormous on the street circuit. But now we're ready for our podium.
It's time for the Dunlop Series podium here at the NP300 Navara Super Sprint. First place driver Cameron Waters, Team NZ PRA. Second place, Andrew Jones, Wilson Medic 1. And in third place, Paul Dumbrell, Eggleston Motorsport. With the third place trophy, Paul Barrett, Dunlop Super Dealer, Cobram. With our second place trophy, Andrew Gibbs, National Sponsorship Manager for V8 Supercars. And with the first place trophy, Jeanette Aston, Product and Brand Manager of Dunlop. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 V8 Supercars MP300 Navara Winton Super Sprint Dunlop Series podium.
So the celebrations begin here, and it's a continuation really of what we saw in WA. Awesome stuff for the Brad Jones crew as well. Very consistent weekend for Andrew Jones off the back of those dramas at Barbagallo, but they've got to figure out a way to catch this guy. The second tier will sit back now and enjoy what's going to unfold in the main game, and it should be a terrific race as well. 200 kilometres, pit stops, strategy, all sorts of stories to tell, and that will be underway in just over half an hour's time.
Where'd this come from?
What do you think of this?
Whose is it?
Well, it's ours. The guys at Nissan dropped it down for us to take to and from the track this weekend. We are in Benalla and we need a bit of a appropriate car to get us there and back.
You're joking. Is it the twin turbo?
She's the brand new one, straight off the boat. What do you think?
I think I'll drive.
She's not too bad inside, is it? It's a bit different to the old one.
It feels solid, like the size of the bonnet sticking up there.
It's more like an SUV than a truck.
Yeah.
Let's get a coffee, eh?
Yeah, it's too far to drive all the way from the motel to the track in one hit.
Yeah, you got to stop, revive and survive.
You got your wallet?
No, I haven't got my wallet. That's part of being a driver.
Well, I was the driver. I just drove.
Yeah.
I've done all the work. You shout.
But you get to drive, so you buy the coffee.
I've got no money.
Well, we'll see what sort of deal we can do when we get in there. Maybe we can take them for a ride in the new Navara and they give us 2 coffees. Since when do you drink a soy latte?
It's not a soy latte.
Well, that's what you ordered. I tell you what, Caruso, he was yapping last night about a shortcut that gets you around the back of the circuit and miss all the traffic. So why don't we give him a call, give that a crack?
Yeah, hurry up. Let's do it.
Right.
Yellow.
How you going?
It's Rick.
Oh, hey boys, how are ya?
Hey, you're on loudspeaker, so don't swear about Todd. Hey, just quickly, we're running late for that team meeting. You were saying something last night about that quick way that gets you around the back of the circuit through that paddock. What's the go there?
Yeah, look, over the years, I've found the quickest way to the track, a bit of a complicated way, but is when you come out of that roundabout, if you hook a left, and then on your right, normally there's a few cows, a bit of a cow paddock there.
There's the cows.
And you just swing a right after that.
Why don't you whack it in 4-wheel drive?
You don't need 4-wheel drive for this.
No, you're right.
Let's just give it a crack. This is a pretty steep hill. I reckon this cannot be the way. Caruso would never have got up that hill.
Well, there we are, in the track. Not too bad. Old Caruso came through with the goods. Not a bad parking spot, eh?
Leave it there. Let's go.
Someone else will move that.